Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So today we are going to discuss some very important news articles of ESI and finance. So what are we going to cover? We are going to cover the news of September first week of 2021. So the first news will be about the National Small Industry Day, and it is important because we will be discussing about the MSMEs, which is important for both NABARD and RBI exam. Next, the government must constitute GST tribunal. See, GST is an important part of finance as well as economics because it is affecting the whole economy. So this becomes an important topic for both the examinations. The IMF raises India's SDR allocation to $17.86 billion. See, IMF is important. Why is it important? Because in the ESI section of the current affairs, the IMF is given under the international economic institutions as well as the international funding institutions. So this news is also very important from the examination point of view. So before starting with the news article, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of this session. And the link of the Telegram channel is given in the description box below. Now, on the occasion of the Ganesh Chaturthi, the EduTap is giving you the 40% off on 2 courses. And you can use the code Ganpati, and it is valid from 10th to 12th of October 2021. Now we will be starting with our news articles. The first news article is about the National Small Industry Day. The Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is the industry that celebrates or organizes the National Small Industry Day. And the when is it celebrated? It is celebrated on August 30th of every year. Why are we celebrating it? The aim of the day is that MSMEs or the small industries are contributing too much. Like in export terms, we can say it is contributing 45% of the total exports of the country. So MSMEs becomes very important for the whole country. So for celebrating the importance of the MSMEs or the small scale industries, we are celebrating the National Small Industry Day. Why are MSMEs important? So in this slide, we will discussing all the points on which why the MSMEs are important. See, because they are providing the diversified products as well as they are providing the intermediate goods. First, understand what is the final good and intermediate good. Then you will be able to understand the diversified products and the intermediate goods. So final goods, this cloth I am wearing is the final good because see, final goods are the goods that the consumer directly uses, while the intermediate goods are the goods that is utilized further in the production process. For example, take the example of threads or any fabric. That is, the threads and the fabric will be further utilized in the production process, and then the cloth will be made. And the cloth will directly go to the consumer. Okay, I am the consumer, I am using it. That is the final good. So clothes are the final good and the threads and fabrics can be the intermediate good. Whatever is used in the production process, further used in the production process is the intermediate good. So here the MSMEs are not only providing the final goods, that is diversified final products, but they are also providing the intermediate goods for the large scale industries. In the diversified products, they are providing the leather and leather products. We can say the plastic products, we can say, as well as the textile industry. The khadi industry is a MSME for the textile industry. Okay, so they are providing the textiles. Next is the largest employment generator. So MSMEs are one of the largest employment generator. It is nearly providing 120 million employment for the population of India. Next, more than 6.3 crore MSMEs have the capability and the ability to access the international markets, and they can help the larger international firms. See, for example, let's take an example. There is a large international firm that wants to provide a car. He will give the task of providing the tires to an Indian MSME, and providing the body of the car to the Chinese MSME because they are providing it cheaper. So it will take whatever the countries are providing cheaper, the MSMEs of the countries are providing cheaper, and then he will make the company will make the whole car. So this is how the large international firms work. They take whatever is cheaper from the MSMEs and then they assemble it and make the final product. So the MSMEs have the ability to provide the intermediate goods to the larger international firms. In terms of exports also, as I told you in the first slide only, the MSMEs are very important because they are providing 45% of the total exports of the India. And the sector holds high potential in various subsectors. Like I told you, the khadi industry of the textile industry has a good potential to reach the international market, to do the exports, the sports goods, the plastic goods, the leather products, spices even. So the MSMEs are very important for the export point of view also. Next, the MSME definition was revised in 1st June 2020 under the Atmanirbhar Bharat package, and the government has revised the MSME classification by inserting composite criteria of both investment and annual turnover. See, before there was only investment. Investment was the criteria through which the government was providing the classification, but now the investment as well as the annual turnover is the criteria of the classifying the micro, small and medium enterprises. So now you will understand the classification and the criteria. See, before this was the earlier version, and this is the after the revision. This was the version. This was the classification and the criteria. Before, the enterprises were divided into manufacturing enterprises and the enterprises rendering services. So criteria was different for the manufacturing enterprises and the enterprises rendering services. Now the criteria is same for the both. Okay, for the manufacturing enterprises and enterprises rendering services, the criteria has been made same. So this is a very important difference between the earlier version and the newer version. Now we will see the difference in the criteria. So for the micro industry, the criteria was before investment should not be more than 25 lakhs for the manufacturing enterprises and not more than 10 lakhs for the services enterprises. Now it has been made revised upward to INR 1 crore, that the investment should not be more than the INR 1 crore in both the enterprises, the manufacturing and the services enterprises, and the annual turnover should not be more than the 5 crores for micro industry. Now coming to the small enterprises, in the small enterprises, investment should not be more than the INR 5 crores for the manufacturing enterprises, and it should not be more than INR 2 crores for the enterprises rendering services. And now investment in the newer version, if investment should not be more than 10 crores for the small industries, and the annual turnover should not be more than INR 50 crores. For the medium enterprises, the investment before, like in the earlier version, it should not have been more than 10 crores for the manufacturing enterprises, and it should not be more than the INR 5 crores for the service sector or the service enterprise. The investment after the revision, the investment for the medium enterprises should not go above 50 crores, otherwise it would not come in the medium enterprise category. And the annual turnover should not be more than the 250 crores. So I hope you understand the criteria, that after the July 1st of 2020, the criteria was made different, that how much you can invest or how much your annual turnover should be. Okay, so the criteria and the classification became different. See, the classification before, it was manufacturing enterprises, enterprises rendering services. Different criteria for both classification. Now the classification has been merged. The same criteria for both the things, for manufacturing enterprises also, for the enterprises rendering services also. Next important news is about the government must constitute GST Tribunal. The Supreme Court has given this statement. A special bench of Supreme Court led by the Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, stated that the government has no option but to constitute the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal. And the tribunal has not been constituted even 4 years after the CGST law was passed in 2016. See, under the section 109 of the GST law, it is written that there should be a GST Appellate Tribunal. Okay, but even after more than 4 years of the CGST law being passed, still the Appellate Tribunal has not been made. So the Supreme Court or SC has said that the government should take it seriously and should constitute the Goods and Services Appellate Tribunal. Now, appeal under GST. First, let's understand a little about GST. See, GST was being effective from 1st July 2017. It has been effective from 1st July 2017, and it is an indirect tax. See, before there were many different indirect taxes like sales tax, service tax, custom duties, excise duty, many different indirect taxes. But now all of these have been abolished, or they have been merged into the GST only. Now there is only one indirect tax, that is GST. So goods and services, the indirect tax on the goods and services. Now we understood a little about GST. Let's move forward to the main news that was about the Appellate Tribunal. So what is Appellate Tribunal? The GST Appellate Tribunal is the forum of second appeal in GST laws and the first common forum of dispute resolution between center and states. So see, if a person is unhappy with any decision or order passed against him under the GST, so he can appeal in the first appellate authority. If he is still unhappy, he can go to the Appellate Tribunal, that I am unhappy with the decision made by the first appellate authority. That's why it is called, the Appellate Tribunal is called the second appeal in GST. Okay, and then if he is still unhappy, he can go to High Court or the Supreme Court. I hope you understood the whole criteria or the concept of this, that the Supreme Court has given the order that the government has to make it. Government has to make the Appellate Tribunal. Okay, according to the GST law, according to the section 109 of the GST law. And this is the criteria, or this is the process of the appeal under GST. So the third very important news is about the IMF that has raised the India's SDR allocation to $17.86 billion. So see, before understanding the news or the allocation, let's understand what is SDR first, because it is a financial term, so you might get a little confused. Okay, so why the allocation was raised? What is the allocation? So before understanding this, let's understand the concept of SDR. So SDR is the special drawing rights. Okay, it was created by IMF in 1969. IMF has the work of maintaining the financial stability of all the countries, of all the members of the IMF. As well as what does it do? It helps in the monetary cooperation between the countries for the growth of the countries. So IMF has created SDR in 1969. It is an international reserve asset. Okay. See, SDR is not a physical currency. It is not a physical currency. We can say it is a basket of 5 currencies. It is a basket of 5 currencies. That is US dollar, the pound sterling, and the Japanese yen, the Chinese yuan, and the euro. So it is the basket of, or the combination of all these freely exchangeable or freely usable currencies. These are the currency that is used by the whole world. Okay, so these are the freely usable currencies. So SDR is the combination or the basket of these 5 currencies, and the member countries can freely exchange between themselves with the help of SDR. Let's say India do not have the US dollars to exchange, but it has some SDR. Like in the data we will see, now it has 13.66 billion SDR. So it can exchange the 13.66 billion SDR for the US dollars, because it wants US dollars, or for say let's Japanese yen. So the SDR can be converted or can be exchanged for the dollar or for the other 4 currencies. Okay, so general SDR allocation, now you understand that the member countries can freely exchange, that's why there is SDR. Now general SDR allocation is done on the proportional basis of the quotas, like how much the financial resources are provided by a country. On that basis, the allocation of SDR is done. Let's say the US is providing more quota, more financial resource to the IMF. So IMF will allot more SDR quota to the US. If US is providing more financial resources to IMF, then US will get more SDR. Okay, so it is the proportion to their existing quotas. SDR is allocated according to the proportion to their existing quotas in the IMF, that how much financial resources they have provided to the IMF. I hope it is clear about the SDR. It is just a combination or the basket of 5 currencies. These are the 5 currencies, and SDR can be exchanged freely for any of the currency, for any of these currencies. So the IMF member states that hold SDRs can exchange the SDR for freely usable currency. for freely usable currency. Now I hope you understood the SDR. Let's move to the main news that was in the PIB. So International Monetary Fund has increased India's spatial drawing rights, the SDR quota, to 12.57 billion. If you want to know in the US terms, in the dollar terms, it is 17.86 billion. Okay, so the International Monetary Fund has increased India's spatial drawing rights quota to this much, 12.57 billion. The following the allocation, India's total SDR holdings now stand at SDR 13.66 billion. So this added by the total holding, like how much the total holding is, the 13.66 billion, that is in the dollars terms 19.41 billion according to the latest exchange rate. Okay, this allocation is about 2.7% of the overall the general allocation. So the general allocation is for 456.5 billion SDRs, that is in dollar terms 650 billion dollars. Okay, so 2.75% of the total has been allotted to the India, that is 12.57 billion. So now see, this is the largest SDRs provided by IMF till now. Why? Because in the COVID situation, the countries need the cooperation of IMF, and for the for providing the cooperation, for providing help to the countries, to the member countries, the IMF has decided to raise the SDRs. Okay, that's why it has been the largest allocation by the SDRs to all the countries. So here I guess you understand all the news I have told you about the IMF, the SDR allocations, as well as the GST. We discussed about GST and the appellate tribunal, and in the first news we discussed about the MSMEs. So thank you very much. If you have any query, you can mail here and you can get in touch with us in this mail. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you understood everything, and if there is any problem, if there is any query, you can mail. Thank you very much.